Maybe you smirk or wave finger horns when you see an upside-down cross around the neck of a death metal fan or inked on a baby goth who's sick and tired of the rules, dude. But what in the name of all the hounds of hell does the thing really mean? Hang on to your guyliner, goths. This may be hard to hear, because before the upside-down cross was cool in an anti-everything way, it was a holy symbol for about 1800 years. Yep, for most of post-Jesus history, an upside-down cross represented one thing: St. Peter's execution. As the story goes, around 64 AD, Emperor Nero, that twisted fiddler, decided to persecute early Christians sometime after the ruins of the Great Fire of Rome were cleaned up. But why? Well, somebody had to take the heat off Nero after the fire.
And it must have been the Christians.
And that's what happened, according to Tacitus. The catch is that we're not 100% sure exactly when Peter was martyred. Could have been 64 AD, could have been 67 AD. But either way, when Peter was crucified, he supposedly demanded to be executed upside down because he wasn't worthy to die like Christ. Period. End of story. Except it wasn't. The upside-down crucifixion is a great story, but the thing is, historians aren't 100% sure it actually happened. It's Christian lore.
To die as our Lord died is more than I deserve.
We can change that.
But however Peter died, the upside-down part became a universally accepted part of the story. And for centuries, the upside-down cross meant one thing: Peter's humble sacrifice in the name of God. Since then, the inverted cross is traditionally called the Cross of St. Peter, or the Petrine Cross, and it's a symbol of humility. The Catholic Church considers Peter to be the first pope, as depicted in Matthew 16. That's why when Peter shows up in Christian artwork, he's often upside down and usually has a set of keys nearby. And while going all the way back to 991 AD, Arnulf, Archbishop of Reims, had issues with the Pope's unchecked power and likened him to the Antichrist. The upside-down cross was neither here nor there when it came to Satan. Let's fast forward nearly 1,000 years and meet obscure French occultist Eugène von Trapp, who was a strange dude even by 19th century occult standards. To set the scene, Queen Victoria was on the British throne, and the Industrial Revolution was off and running. Things were getting more mechanical and regulated, not to mention polluted, all of which depressed people and sent them in search of something more spiritual or mystical about existence. They weren't happy just being cogs in a machine. No pun intended. Well, kinda. This spiked interest in the occult, and von Trapp, who was a foreman in a cardboard box factory, saw an opening. He started pulling off miracles, according to him, claimed to be the reincarnation of the prophet Elijah, and because there's someone for everyone, he soon found his people. In other words, he started a cult. It was all going great for him until in 1846, some of his haters put out a pamphlet titled The Saints of Tilly-sur-Seulles. And this is a quote: homosexuality, conducting black masses in the nude, and masturbating at the altar. The Pope, who wasn't a fan of black masses, came down hard on von Trapp, and in response, von Trapp started wearing an upside-down cross around his neck. He said it was a symbol of passing from the reign of suffering to the reign of love, but it was also a way more basic FU to the Vatican. Some years later, inspired by von Trapp, Parisian novelist J.K. Huysmans wrote La Bombe, which featured an infamous black mass scene in which an upside-down cross is worn at a combination mass orgy. From then on, the meaning of an upside-down cross, like the cross itself, got inverted to mean Satan. Fast forward to today. Plenty of modern musicians and bands, including Ozzy Osbourne, Slayer, Behemoth, and Cradle of Filth, just to name a few, incorporate upside-down crosses into their imagery, costumes, stage sets, and so on. Speaking about upside-down crosses in an interview on Medium, Behemoth bassist Orion said, "Breaking the rules, provoking, going against the current is exciting. It is what it is, pick it or leave it." Okay, sure, but sometimes the use of an upside-down cross is nothing more than a clever marketing ploy designed to provoke in the name of getting attention. Take the band Black Sabbath, for example. Back in the day, people called them diabolical, but the band actually wasn't comfortable using an upside-down cross, and given that they were once cursed by Satanists, it makes sense. In a 2010 interview with Banger TV, former Sabbath drummer Bill Ward gave it up, saying, "I think there were some wise guys who deliberately put that together as a ploy, as an advertising promotional ploy, or who had seriously misgauged us as a band." All that hysteria about the sacrilegious use of upside-down crosses is mostly long gone, along with Tipper Gore's crusade to protect innocent ears from the devil's music. These days, upside-down crosses can be found everywhere, in artwork, in anime, in tattoos, jewelry, belt buckles, t-shirt shops, you name it. To some, it means defiance. To others, it just looks cool. But what does it mean to Satanists? We're glad you asked. Placed behind their altar and often glowing neon, it represents, according to the BBC, a metaphor for questioning authority and grounding your beliefs in science. Or, Satan, since the group worships the devil.
And we thank you for coming to our convening. Hail Satan.
Not bad.
Then there's the Church of Satan, whose official FAQ reads, "Literature has long depicted anyone who has embraced Satan and thus rejected Jesus as having embraced the reversed cross as symbolic of that act."
Hail Satan! Hail Satan!
No!
If by literature the church is referring to Ice Spice's fit at the 2024 Super Bowl or Buffy the Vampire Slayer, sure. But here's the most important part. In the dubiously immortal words of the website of the Church of Satan, Satanists are free to employ any symbols which they feel have resonance. So if such an upside-down cross has personal meaning, they could use it. In other words, an upside-down cross means whatever you want it to mean. Or nothing. It's just an upside-down object. The important takeaway is that the upside-down cross has been co-opted by Satanists who probably never knew it was originally the ultimate tribute to Jesus. Oh, the irony.